at my 6. What's up, everybody? Happy Memorial Day to everybody. As of this recording, praise God for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that the rest of us should know the ultimate freedoms. I'm going to go up here into the woods. We're going to do this a little bit differently today. And yes, I'm sunburned. I'm going to tell you why. It's because of me and my beautiful bride, Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and our wonderful son spent all day out mountain biking and swimming in a beautiful river. That's what we did today. I usually plant pumpkins. That's kind of one of my it's been my Memorial Day tradition since I got back from Iraq, because of a promise I made to myself in the desert one night towards the end of our deployment. And that promise was this: if I actually survive the rest of this deployment and I make it out of here alive, I'm never going to do anything else that I don't want to do again just because somebody else wants me to do it. And I'm not going to spend any time with toxic people. I'm going to pursue my passion, which is writing, and I'm going to live happy, joyous, and free. And I've done that. So the reason I didn't plant pumpkins today, and we've been camping up here for like the last few nights, and then last night, of course, if you saw the video that I uploaded this morning, we actually recorded some audio of some pretty creepy stuff. Most of you haven't watched that, probably because I uploaded it early and most of you don't get online until the evening. I'm going to put it at the end of this one. Make sure to go watch that and listen to that. There was something up here last night while we were sitting around a campfire. It was screaming. It sounded like a woman being murdered. Some folks have said in the comments they think it was a fox. Some folks have said they think it's bobcats. Others have said they think it's a panther. But I know that for some time, well, thought I heard like a light scream. That's my tent you can see up there in the center of the screen. That's the top of the tent. We stayed the whole night, and it woke us up screaming again around 3 a.m. But back to why I didn't plant the pumpkins. They're coming. I'm going to plant the pumpkins. They're coming. But just I was just feeling especially grateful about my family today. I'm grateful for them every day, but I just felt especially grateful, I guess, because I look at, I think on Memorial Day, and this is a day to honor the memory of those who died, not, living veterans. That's Veterans Day. But when you are a veteran, I think you think about it a little bit more about what could have been. And when I do that, I think of what is that could not have been had I been one of those remembered on this day instead of Veterans Day. I would have never met my wonderful wife, Dearly. We would have never had our wonderful son. And I love these two people more than any other two human beings that have ever existed. And so I just woke up and I said to myself, man, plant those pumpkins tomorrow, man. And I said to my family, what do you guys want to do today? And they were like, well, it's Memorial Day. I thought we were just going to stay home, take it easy. I said, well, I mean, we could if you want, but is there anything else you'd like to do? And Daniel wanted to go biking. And he's been saying lately that he has been wanting to go swimming now that it's hot again. He's been playing with the water hose in the front yard, shooting basketball. And so Dearly suggested a place where we could go mountain biking and swimming because there's a beautiful river there. And so we did. Those pumpkins, they'll get planted tomorrow. But it's about actually living the promise that I made to myself in the desert. And I do that. Exited all of the toxic psychopaths that were in my life out of it. Learned to more quickly identify people who are toxic going forward. So once I have identified that's a situation, remove myself from that situation or those people. Sometimes it still takes a little longer to figure it out than others. And the inverse of this is true also, and I want you to really get this. learn to identify positive, healthy people who are good for me, and keep them in an inner circle. And I've built that inner circle since the war. I don't have a ton of friends. I'm not like one of these people on social media that has all these fake friends crap. I have more people that I know if I called at 3 o'clock in the morning because I needed help immediately. I believe, though my group of friends is small, they are true friends, and I've probably got more people that would come to my rescue than most people do. So it's not just identifying toxic effers and keeping them out of your life. It's about identifying the people who are worthy to have in your life as well. And this is all part of that promise I made in the desert. And Dearly and my son, of course, being the two at the top of that list, I thought the pumpkins can wait. And so we had a wonderful time. And we saw something beautiful. We're getting ready to enter the woods here. This was supposed to be a video about me coming up and looking for tracks of that thing that was screaming last night. And we're going to do that. I'm just sneaking up to the woods here. So had a gnat get in my eye. We went down in Charlottesville and biked down the Rivanna Trail and swam on the Rivanna River. And since it is Memorial Day, a lot of other folks were doing the same thing. I'll tell you, I have never seen as many people in that river. Not like, I bet you we saw 300 or 400 people today in that river. People are floating down the river on inner tubes. They had their inner tubes all tied together, and they had their coolers, and they'd float down the rivers away, and then they'd stop, and they'd hang out and party for 30 minutes, and then they'd move on. And all right, we're in the woods. Get my 6. I'm going to do what I do. I'm not even going to look at the screen. You let me know if you see anything. Timestamp it so others can see it too. But there were no face masks. People weren't wearing masks. My wife, this is something that she really, my wife's not from here. She's from the Philippines. She's been here for 6 years now. She loves her country. She's a proud Filipina. She loves the Philippines, and she loves her culture, as I do as well. So she doesn't say this in any way to be disrespectful towards where she came from. But she's always amazed when we go into Charlottesville and we do things where there's hundreds of strangers together, and usually it's like the UVA football games or basketball games or baseball, but even like today on the river, there's so many people, all these strangers together, white people, black people, Latino people, Asian people, don't know each other, but they're there for like a common interest. Today it was just to spend a beautiful hot Memorial Day on the water. Everybody gets along. Nobody is disrespectful towards anybody else. There's no violence breaking out. It's just a beautiful thing. And she says she really appreciates that about this place. And I told her I do too. That's why I love living here. And she always, well, I'm getting way off topic here, but she always says she wishes those were the scenes that they showed on the news. Because as a Filipina who has been able to come to the United States and live here, she tells me that, and I lived over there for 6 years, and I know this to be true, the real America that we get to live in, that we're blessed to get to live in because of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, those for whom we celebrate, we acknowledge this day, Memorial Day, is a much greater America than the media and a lot of social media types try to portray us as being, especially around the world. It's just a beautiful thing to see all those people having a good time. They were being carefree. People were kayaking. Some were biking like us, walkers. A lot of people were swimming. We swam in the river. I mean, that's why my face is red. I'm all sunburned. Everybody we saw today in that river was appreciating and taking advantage of their freedom that they have because so many perished in the fight for it. And it felt good. No, I sat there and the thought did go through my head. And most of these folks were probably, I mean, there might have been half a dozen older than me that went by, but most of them were my wife's age, mid 30s, some late 20s. Well, there was a bunch of UVA kids going through there all day. And so they'd be like in their early 20s. But the thought did occur to me. I thought, I wonder if any of these people out here, other than me, even know why what we're celebrating today. You got a record number of people in the river. Do they have any of them actually stopped to think about, the meaning of this day? And in reality, yeah, probably at some point most of them. But at that time, no. But they were having fun, and the point of it was, I was happy to see that as a veteran and as somebody who did lose friends. In the holy wars there in the Middle East, more after coming home, actually, who took their own lives than over there. But I could appreciate it. I appreciated seeing everybody getting out, having fun, because by God, that's why I did it. Now, I didn't make the ultimate sacrifice, but that was the way of life I knew growing up. And a bunch of a-holes came over here and knocked down some of our buildings, and I raised my hand after that and said, America, take me to do what I could to make sure that, that day we had today in that river and all those other people had too, to make sure days like that were the days that would continue. Those would be the days that filled our future. Well, I was supposed to be looking for tracks, but I've got a couple of hours of daylight left, and I do have to keep that promise I made to myself, because it's been wonderful having a wonderful family and making new friends, getting rid of psychos, and planting pumpkins. Time marches on and Halloween's coming. Got a couple of hours of daylight left. I think I'm going to go do that now. So, see y'all for more next time.